This is ABC 7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes. Thank you for joining us. Here we go again. The city of Sarasota is getting ready to shut down a busy street for nearly a year. Part of Osprey Avenue will be closed in a few weeks to allow construction workers to finally start the lift station project. ABC 7's Ray Collins talked to those who are affected and joins us with their reaction. Ray.
Haley, it is weeks away. This will affect thousands of drivers on the Suncoast. It's one of the busiest north-south streets in the area. Osprey Avenue at Mound is an important intersection, but the city of Sarasota plans to once again close down a stretch between Mound and Bay of Vista to begin building this sewage plant in nearby Lukewood Park. You had no idea this was coming, did you?
No, not at all. Oh, well.
Janine and John Hall recently moved the corner of Osprey and Mound and had no idea the road outside their townhouse would be closing.
So we're really disappointed to hear that news.
And they're not the only ones.
The neighbors are all concerned in that area because of shutting down the traffic. They're concerned that people are going to detour through the neighborhoods, and because of some of the difficulties they've had before.
Sarasota Police Sergeant Bruce King is referring to the difficulties encountered a few years ago when the city closed down this bridge for the same project, but the work never got done.
And it's been going on for 6 years, so it's not a surprise to us.
Nick Barger can't avoid this project. He lives nearby, but also owns two businesses, but says he's not concerned about a loss of business.
It's not shaking anybody up because it's been coming on for so long, and it'll just be a sidetrack.
Very good.
And they say a year, so let's figure on 3 years.
The timing of this road project has shifted from May to June to now late July. In fact, the only neighbors looking forward to this project might be those who live around the current sewage station site, which will be phased out when the new one is complete. And as for Janine and John Hall?
So we'll adjust.
So in the next few weeks, you'll start seeing plenty of detour signs around Osprey. It'll be one of several projects over a 2-mile stretch of Osprey this summer and later on this year.
Yeah, well, we always have to just brace ourselves for this. Yeah. And Ray, which way will traffic be detoured?
Police and neighbors want drivers to head east to US 41 and not west to Orange Avenue if they can help it.
That's hard to do.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Americans across the country spent today honoring those who have given their lives for our freedom, as well as the men and women who are currently serving. President Obama marked his final Memorial Day as Commander-in-Chief by paying tribute to fallen soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. He laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and delivered remarks honoring those who have served for the United States.
The Americans who rest here and their families, the best of us, those from whom we asked everything, ask of us today only one thing in return: that we remember them.
In other parts of the country, Senator John McCain, a Vietnam prisoner of war, spoke at the National Memorial Cemetery of Arizona. Observance ceremonies were also held at the World War II Memorial, the Vietnam Memorial. Also, the Air Force remembered its fallen airmen. Here on the Suncoast, the annual Memorial Day Parade ran through downtown Sarasota this morning. This year's theme was Legacy, a Debt Owed. Local veteran service organizations, law enforcement, ROTC units, fire departments, students, and Color Guard marched down the street in honor of our fallen heroes. The parade wrapped up with a ceremony at 5 Points Park. And some people took time to remember their loved ones with a visit to the Sarasota National Cemetery. Families of soldiers who have passed away came to the cemetery today to remember them. Some left flowers, flags, and notes for loved ones, while others simply took a moment of silence to remember those lost. Sarasota National Cemetery is the resting place for more than 30,000 members of the armed forces. In Manatee County, fallen service members were remembered during a service at Veterans Park in Bradenton. Many of the vets honored lost their lives in the Vietnam War. And hundreds showed up at Patriots Park in Venice to lay wreaths. Several veterans organizations attended, and there were veterans there from World War II through the Iraq War. Northport marked Memorial Day with a ceremony of its own at Veterans Park, hosted by the American Legion Post 254. The ceremony included a presentation of wreaths from various veterans organizations. Veterans and residents all across the Suncoast expressed what this day means to them and why it's so important.
and you learn so much more after you're in. You're dedicated to serve wherever, however, and to obey whatever.
A lot of people take Memorial Day as just going to picnics and having a party and having some fun, going to the beaches, but it's very serious that they remember all the men and women that lost their lives fighting for this country.
It is so important because those people paid a tremendous price for us to be free today.
It's a time to be grateful for what we have and grateful for those who have made it possible.
An estimated 1.1 million Americans have died in combat throughout United States history. And turning now to the severe weather affecting part of the U.S. this holiday weekend. On the East Coast, Tropical Storm Bonnie has now been downgraded to a tropical depression. And in the nation's heartland, at least 6 people have been killed from historic flooding. That area is also about to get hit with even more rain.
Historic and deadly flooding striking Texas, with back-to-back storms leading to more evacuations near Houston.
Thought we were going to be safe. I didn't know it was going to come up this fast.
The Brazos River reaching major flood stage.
That used to be my front yard.
As emergency crews go door to door performing one rescue after the next.
That is crazy.
Entire neighborhoods now underwater from some 20 inches of rain.
I gotta leave. Everything's loose. Nothing to say.
At least 6 people have been killed. Authorities here recovering the body of a man seen swept away by flash floodwaters.
They saw a person holding on to a pole.
A 10-year-old boy who fell into the river while fishing also remains missing.
It's frustrating that we have the family here and they need some closure, and we haven't been able to give it to them yet.
The region not getting a break either, bracing for more heavy rain through the week.
Oh my God.
Severe weather also hitting Colorado, with this tornado touching down near the Nebraska border. While on the East Coast, families are cleaning up from Bonnie.
There shouldn't be waves in a parking lot.
The former tropical storm has dumped up to 8 inches of rain in the Carolinas, temporarily shutting down this highway. Several roads turned into rivers and gas stations now underwater.
That storm is now creating dangerous driving conditions all the way up the East Coast. And for more on that and our weather, we'll head over to meteorologist Steve Newman, who's in for Bob.
Looking at all that, we have been so blessed here in the Sun Coast this holiday weekend to have any significant weather problems. I'll show you a couple of storms that were around. 65 degrees is the current dew point. That's kind of moist. Current temperature is 76 degrees. After a high this afternoon of 89. That's 1 degree warmer than normal for this time of year. The low last night 72, just a little bit warmer than normal. Now, the strongest storm we had just kind of sat over Port Charlotte for a while. We'll go back in time in a second and you'll see where it evolved from being in Port Charlotte, then going over Northport, over Mayaca State Park to Duet, now kind of washing out over Hillsborough County. It's part of a whole bunch of thunderstorms that have been brewing in the heart of Florida, and we'll probably see them develop during the afternoons for the rest of this week. I'll tell you what our chances of getting more of these are in our forecast coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Steve. The search continues tonight for the person who fatally stabbed a man this weekend. Sarasota police say it happened on Dr. Martin Luther King Way near the intersection of Washington Boulevard early yesterday morning. When officers arrived, they found 41-year-old Willie Howard lying in the street, not breathing. Howard was taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where he later died from a knife wound. Anyone with information is asked to call Sarasota police. A brazen church burglary in Bradenton today. A local pastor arrived to the Happy Gospel Church to find someone broke in and stole from the building. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says a window in the chapel hall was forced open. Someone stole audio and video equipment. Pastor Bill Bailey tells us most of their electronics are gone and their offices were ransacked as well. Anyone with information is asked to call the Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. And straight ahead, meteorologist Steve Newman will be back with the official Suncoast forecast. Plus, as outrage spreads over the death of a gorilla, the Cincinnati Zoo responds publicly and defends its decision. Plus, a third-party run for president. Why the candidate says this election year he has much better odds.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
Need a mortgage? Compare and save. Trustco Bank offers a variety of low-cost mortgages that are right for you with friendly personal service that's made Trustco one of the area's top mortgage lenders. Visit TrustcoBank.com for details.
Your hometown bank, Trustco.
Equal housing lender.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150, Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to $2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Pomero Shop Furniture. After 66 years in Sarasota, we're still the leader in hard-to-find and custom-made furniture. We have literally thousands of fabrics and patterns to choose from, and our free in-home design consultation will help you create rooms in your home specific to your unique style. Our inventory changes daily, so come in today to see what's new. Plus, anything in our showroom can be part of your home the very next day. Pomero Shop Furniture, now with 3 locations.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
We're just a little over 1 day away from the official start of the hurricane season for 2016, but really the season started way back in the first days of January. We had Hurricane Alex affect the Azores, and of course we've just had Bonnie move up the Atlantic coast, producing a lot of rain this weekend. And even with that, the forecasters at the National Hurricane Center are still predicting a normal season, taking into account those storms have already been there. But they're having a hard time finding years in the past that look like the current situation. So this forecast is pretty much an educated guess, and it's a pretty good guess. I think anywhere from 10 to 16 named storms is what they're calling for. 4 to 8 could be major hurricanes, or 4 to 8 could be hurricanes, and about 4 of them could become major hurricanes, and some of them could affect the continental United States. Now, to look at how the hurricane season might affect us here in the Sun Coast, we really have to look out thousands of miles in all directions. And the biggest weather feature we need to take into account is the near-record El Nino we had last year, and it really amplified the subtropical jet. And with those winds blowing across the subtropics, it created wind shear that really suppressed tropical storm and hurricane development across the entire Atlantic basin. And it brought record wind shear to the Caribbean, and that resulted in no tropical cyclones at all forming in the Caribbean last year. Well, that's probably changing because El Nino has faded, and now we have a developing La Nina, an ocean cooling, and its effects is not as much wind shear, and theoretically that could bring more and stronger tropical storms and hurricanes to the Atlantic basin. And again, we're predicting a normal year, at least the experts are, but things are anywhere near normal right now across the Atlantic. We have cooler than normal temperatures in the ocean up in the North Atlantic and warmer to the south, and some forecasters think that could mean a stronger Bermuda high during the summer hurricane season. That would create stronger trade winds off Africa, keeping the little waves that form out there from developing into major storms. And until they get the Caribbean. So that results in quieter than normal activity across the open waters of the Atlantic. But it's a different situation in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, which some are predicting to be the most likely source area for storms this hurricane season. And the most likely areas to be affected would be from northern Mexico to the Florida Panhandle. That doesn't mean that here in the Gulf Coast and the Sun Coast that we're out of the woods. We still are predicting a normal to slightly above normal hurricane season. So take that into account. Another source areas we just saw this past weekend with the tropical storm Bonnie is from Puerto Rico to the Bahamas up, could create storms affecting the Atlantic seaboard. So again, that's the latest forecast coming out of the National Hurricane Center.
As we can see, we've already had activity, but officially hurricane season begins on Wednesday, and that's when we have our hurricane special right here on ABC 7 at 7 o'clock, and you'll be part of it.
Yeah, Bob Harrigan and John Scalzi, Wendy, and I will be here, as along with a lot of experts from the Weather Service and emergency services, taking your questions. So that's at 7 o'clock, between 7 and 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. Make sure you tune in for that. Now, the rest of the weather. Take a look at temperatures across the state at this hour. Pretty much cooling off. A little warm at Tampa, though. Fort Myers 74. Now, down at Fort Myers and Naples, they really got hammered with some storms this afternoon, as did, I know, Northport and Port Charlotte from those storms. Right now at Sarasota at 76, Bradenton at 78. Looking along the immediate coast, temperatures in the upper 70s as well. A lot of areas cooled off briefly from those storms and then warmed back up, and a little sticky humidity in the afternoon. Right now at Rotunda, it is 74 degrees as well. Now, speaking of those storms, look, we had the Atlantic sea breeze come in and collide with the Gulf right here over Naples in southwestern Florida. And I think the northern edge of that caused the storms to really amplify around Port Charlotte and Northport earlier. And now we've seen them move up over Mayaca State Park into the northeastern part of Manatee County. And I think for the rest of tonight, there still could be a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, but we're going to be drying out overnight. And for tomorrow afternoon, perhaps with that sea breeze coming in once again, we'll see some additional storms firing up and then possibly blowing back to the coast late in the day and tomorrow evening. So here is the forecast for tonight. Clearing skies overnight. Our low temperature is 71 with light winds. Our average temperature this time of year is 70. And tomorrow, a partly sunny day with a 30% chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunder showers. High 89 with a sea breeze 5 to 10 miles an hour in the afternoon. And here's your 7-day outlook showing that we'll have that chance of showers and thunderstorms right on through next weekend and the early part of next week. And maybe by this time next weekend, we might be talking about some tropical activity firing up to the south of us. Haley?
Thank you, Steve. The Cincinnati Zoo is defending its decision to kill the gorilla that got a hold of a 3-year-old boy who tumbled into its enclosure over the weekend. The zoo director says he's saddened that Harambe was killed, but in a press conference today, he responded to critics who were furious over the gorilla being killed instead of tranquilized.
The gorilla was clearly agitated. The gorilla was clearly disoriented. And so the idea of waiting and shooting it with a hypodermic was not a good idea. That would have definitely created alarm in the male gorilla. And as I'm sure you know, when you dart an animal, or even if you yourself go to the hospital, anesthetic doesn't work in 1 second. It works over a period of a few minutes to 10 minutes.
Authorities say the encounter started when the boy crawled over the barrier, plunging into the moat. He was inside the zoo exhibit for 10 minutes, and video shows the gorilla dragging the boy to the other side of the moat. An online petition has been launched demanding the unidentified child's parents be criminally charged, saying they did not properly look after the boy. The child is now back home from the hospital. Cincinnati police tell ABC News they are not filing charges, and the zoo is now reviewing ways to make the gorilla exhibit safer. The remaining presidential contenders spending time to observe Memorial Day. Hillary Clinton took a break from traditional campaigning to honor vets today. As she does every year, she marched in a Memorial Day parade in her adopted hometown in New York. Donald Trump, meanwhile, campaigned heavily over the weekend, trying to rally support from veterans in the nation's capital. And Bernie Sanders is spending time in the Golden State. He honored vets at a parade in San Francisco, while also working to win the big California primary on June 7th. And I just saw on Twitter, he's at the basketball game. A third-party candidate is joining the race for the presidency. Over the weekend, Libertarians selected former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson as their party's presidential nominee. Johnson was the nominee in 2012 as well. He says he stands a chance of breaking through this year, given the unfavorability ratings of the likely nominees for the Democratic and Republican parties.
This is another voice at the table. It's arguably combining the best of what it is to be a Democrat and the best of what it is to be a Republican, neither of which actually do very well at what they're supposed to be good at.
The Libertarian Party is the only third party with ballot access in all 50 states. A 3-hour lockdown at the White House ends in an arrest. The Secret Service says someone threw a metal object over a fence. Local police and firefighters, along with hazmat crews, responded. An arrest was made without incident, and the individual has not been identified. President Obama was at the White House during this lockdown. And back here on the Sun Coast, a boost for Palmetto. The city will soon receive a federal grant of $250,000 to revitalize a piece of property along the Manatee River. The 1.5-acre piece of property, known as a brownfield, has been sitting unused for many years. But with this recent approval of the grant, Palmetto's mayor says it will improve the value of the area and inject some vibrance into the community. The city now has to come up with potential uses for the property.
We've spoken in the past about a dog park, some type of recreational property, 1.5 acres, of course, and we've even thought about it as something of a transportation hub.
The city will work with the EPA to clean up the property, which has had issues with hazardous soils in the past. The Rays head to Kansas City for a date with the Royals, while the NHL and NBA are both featuring huge games tonight. That is all next in sports, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Here's something from me to you. You say 360, you mean like it was like full, like this, all the way?
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
That's Chuck, proud homeowner, regular do-it-yourselfer. Today he's attempting an electrical repair. This is Pablo. He's an electrician with Mr. Sparky. How's he doing, Pablo?
Terrible, Mike.
Yeah. What Chuck doesn't realize is that almost 68,000 home fires are caused every year by electrical problems.
What?
If he doesn't have the proper tools and training, he's liable to start the next one.
Little help here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You might want to write that number down.
Hurricane season is here, and once again, ABC 7 is providing you vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast.
Hurricane season is here. We'll show you how to prepare, and we'll open up the My Suncoast helpline to answer your questions on putting together your readiness plan and survival kit.
Join the official Suncoast Storm Team for Surviving a Hurricane, a live presentation of ABC 7, your Suncoast News, Wednesday, June 1st at 7.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Now, sports.
The Rays have been through their share of tough losses this season, but yesterday's may have been the toughest yet. They gave up just one hit to the Yankees, a home run, and Jake Odorizzi went from zeroing in on a no-hitter to taking the loss. Good teams find ways to bounce right back, though. The Rays were looking to do just that tonight in Kansas City against the defending MLB champions. No such luck, though, tonight for the Rays. This one just went final. The Royals win 6-2. The Rays tied things up at 2 in the 8th, only for the Royals to respond with 4 runs in the bottom half of the inning. Corey Dickerson and Steven Souza Jr. drove in the only runs for Tampa Bay. The Rays also getting a big upgrade in the bullpen. Brad Boxberger is back after recovery from adductor surgery. He had missed the entire season so far. He led the American League in saves last season. And in Boxberger's absence, Alex Colomé has been perfect in the closer role, going 12 for 12 in save opportunities. Boxberger did not pitch, though, in tonight's game. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final between the San Jose Sharks and not the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's, of course, the Pittsburgh Penguins representing the Eastern Conference after eliminating the Bolts last week. Pittsburgh came out strong in front of their hometown crowd tonight, scoring the first 2 goals of the game. The Sharks would respond in the second period with 2 of their own, and they remain tied until the closing minutes of the game. Nick Bonino gets the game winner. The Penguins take Game 1 3-2. And in the NBA, LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers just found out who they will be playing for the top prize in the league. The defending NBA champion Golden State Warriors hosted the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. It is Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors have won this one and are heading back to the NBA Finals. The Warriors forced this Game 7 after facing a 3-1 deficit in the series. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. On your TV. On your computer. On your camera. On your smartphone. On your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC 7, your Suncoast News on Roku. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC 7, your Suncoast News on the go.
Trustco Bank has hometown checking, free mobile app, no monthly fees, and free use of over 55,000 ATMs worldwide. Are you happy with your bank? Go to TrustcoBank.com for details.
Your hometown bank, Trustco.
Member FDIC.
Sunset Fiat is Italian style. Sunset Fiat is fashion forward. Come see the all-new Fiat collection at Sunset Fiat with new 2015 Fiat 500s priced from $12,999. Sunset Fiat is cool and sexy with freedom to move and room to evolve. Visit Sunset Fiat in Sarasota or shop online at fiatusaofsarasota.com.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Did you know? When your dog stays at Canine Corral, the play is free? Contact Canine Corral today about boarding and daycare packages. Canine Corral, where the love is.
Pomero Shop Furniture. After 66 years in Sarasota, we're still the leader in hard-to-find and custom-made furniture. We have literally thousands of fabrics and patterns to choose from, and our free in-home design consultation will help you create rooms in your home specific to your unique style. Our inventory changes daily, so come in today to see what's new. Plus, anything in our showroom can be part of your home the very next day. Pomero Shop Furniture, now with 3 locations.
Salute. You salute, Gummy. That's a salute. Video goes out to
As we clearly see here, the appreciation of our military extends beyond humans to the animal planet. These 3 rescue chihuahuas, named Yum Yum, Lollipop, and Gumdrop, are all decked out in their USA-themed garbs, looking adorable as they sit nicely and salute our military personnel. Dogs, after all, are man's best friend, and many canines serve alongside our servicemen and women. Maybe not chihuahuas. Maybe,
I have a chihuahua, I gotta say.
Do you have a chihuahua?
Oh, yeah. And one was standing up. It wasn't sitting down.
No.
It was very excited.
They're adorable. So hats off to them and to everyone who has served and made a great sacrifice for our country. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow.